storylines here. WFZ, is he perhaps finally able to take back the undead crown of China? It belonged to 120 for the longest time, but he has been falling off a little recently. Lin, coming back from his injury, also was disappointing lately. Is he gonna be the #1 top best orc in the world again? And Romantic, he's a up-and-coming star, I guess, has performed really well. So these are, 3 players on eye level, I would say. So I hope we're going to have some very good and close games here to be observed.
I agree. Romantic, though, always performing better on offline events than he does in online events.
Yeah, and WFZ the opposite.
WFZ the opposite. And, funny enough, WFZ always overperforming in team games. Like Nostalgia Battlefield, Race War, he was the MVP there for his team. In solo competition, I don't know. Also, he's doing fairly well with Yumiko, so maybe he needs a little backup from his teammates. So, if you're rooting for the Undead Scourge, send your energy and sympathy to China, to WFZ. Dude, Remo, we have more than 600 viewers before the game even before the first game even starts.
All right, some of you set their alarms probably because as I was also saying, this is a very high-class match already to start with. One of the best orcs against one of the best undeads in the world. We're going to start on Echo Isles in just a moment.
Indeed. Game has started. I'm having a... Okay, there we go. Here you see the players that will face off in the first best of 3. Here the winner will immediately go into the playoffs and meeting the other 6 that are already qualified. And yeah, it's looking good for Lin here, as it seems. His matchup versus Undead is really good. His win rate versus WFZ is really good. But don't underestimate WFZ. I wouldn't be surprised to see Terranas stand here. Because he kind of, I don't want to say likes to play it, but he's one of the only Undead who's able to defeat orcs on Terranas stand. So it makes it a little harder to veto maps, I think, for the orcs against him.
And also a bit of a meta thing, because almost every orc is going to expect Terranas to be vetoed, so maybe you don't have the best plan against Undead there. Of course, you still have your standard strat. Tier 3, rush probably, and all that, but maybe creeps routes, timings, maybe a little harder to pull off. Do you have a favorite here?
From what I saw yesterday, I would give the edge to Lin, as my game is a little spiky. I hope this will get better over time. I would give the edge to Lin. On map 2 and 3 against Soin, he looked very solid, with a very good game plan, good micro in the fights, good timings. WFZ was, like, on paper it looks like it was a 2-0 and it was fairly easy, but this wasn't really the case. He was struggling really, really hard. And I think it was more like Romantic's mistakes rather than WFZ's good play that won him that series. So,
okay.
I don't know too much about Lin's shape recently because we haven't seen too much of his. GCS, he was underperforming quite a bit. But, yeah, I would give the edge to Lin. Wanna bet?
Yeah. I actually see WFZ as a favorite.
Okay.
Haven't seen Lin too impressive for too long. I mean, I didn't see the game against Romantic, but I feel it's a very, very different matchup, not only, but also playstyle against Orc or against Human. Against Human, basically, it's the one specialty, because every other matchup is all about micro. You win the game by winning the fight. Against Human, you win the game by killing the Expo and making perfect decisions and not taking too much damage and dealing good damage. It's not about who really wins the battle, because the Undead basically always has the stronger army until finally 70 supply knights. But here it's probably going to be 1 base versus 1 base for a very long time. And going to be about who gets better creep camps, better items, and micros better.
Exactly, and speaking of good items, Lin is starting off super well with a Claws of Attack. This is, of course, one of 10 spots here on this map, also 1 shop and the marketplace, so definitely a very good chance for a high damage Blade Master.
Absolutely. Sometimes we see the Orc player suffering from strongman syndrome, thinking, do I really need the invul? Nah, man, I want more claws. But Lin, with all of his experience, I hope he's not gonna fall into that trap. The way I feel about this matchup currently, and now there will be some triggered viewers in chat saying, what are you talking about? I think we both agree that this matchup is far from imbalanced, certainly not in the Orcs' favor, perhaps a little more in the Undead's favor.
Yes.
I feel, especially if you don't play Walkers, microing perfectly in the big fights is so hard as Orc, probably a little bit easier as Undead. And I think you need to be in tip-top shape to be able to consistently beat one of the best Undeads in the world, which WFZ definitely is. And I don't know that Lin is there at the moment.
Yeah, this is kind of his comeback after GCS, definitely the first bigger tournament after GCS, and yeah, he has to prove himself here. That's true. I feel like he kind of lost this fear. Like, everybody was afraid of Lin. Infi was afraid of Lin, and everybody said, okay, nobody can beat him. That was like in late 2016. Not anymore, though. Lin is amongst the top of the world, but not way above anymore.
Yeah. Interesting that he was so dominant right after his comeback and then started being less so. But I think we should start getting into the game a little. By the way, thank you very much. Who took Day Tripper with a 200 bits saying cheer? 200 you the man, WC3 caster dude. Thank you very much. The other was, by the way, starting with a fast hero build, late fiends. I think that is pretty much the standard for WFZ nowadays on every single map, even on the unusual ones, which Echo Isles is pretty much the case. Of course, Lin teching with the 1 Borrow. That's standard. He's hitting tier 2 now. And I wonder, is he gonna go for maybe some walkers? Or is it just gonna be the standard tier 3 rush? That is what we have to expect. Too late here to get the last hit, but did he grab the item?
No, the circler is on the DK.
But
there's a circler on the Blade Master as well.
Maybe he bought it at the shop, but I'm not sure.
He bought it, claws at the shop.
No, I mean the merchant.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah. Okay, it didn't, most likely then. He went on to the
because
Murlocs.
The DK should have had 2 of these small items, one from the upper ogres and one from the southern
Yeah,
one. But maybe it was a ring and he sold it.
Yeah, exactly, that's what
sure.
happens. That's what happened. So, yeah, I guess the DK got it. Ring of Regeneration is, of course, very nice for an Undead early on, but this creep at the Murloc is already kind of unusual to take it out that early.
Alright, Blade Master gets some last hits here. Would love to get some more for the level 3, and that should be easily doable with the little Murlocs here still being available. Boom, there we go. Both heroes on level 3. And usually that's pretty good for the Undead, I would say. If you go for the fast hero, that makes creeping a little more difficult. Sounds counterintuitive, but is the case because you have fewer fiends. But he gets to level 3 quickly before the SH is out, and Lin is going for the super standard Bestiary into tier 3.
Yeah, that is absolutely normal. And Warmill behind that for Kodo Beast. On the other side, the Blade Master has level 2 Windwalk now. Like, the duration is now expanded by so much, and of course movement speed as well, so he can just be super annoying, roaming around, following the Undead army, get information, try to steal some creeps, while in the meantime he's creeping up his Shadowhunter, which works kind of well here with 3 grunts, easy to take out the Berserkers because they have medium armor. And what can WFZ do now? The northern unique spot is taken already, like the Ogre Magi is gone, it's just experience laying around, and the shop is gone as well, so both unique spots and item drops went towards the Orc.
And now he's level 2 SH as well. With that, he should have the big fight advantage. Hex coming towards 1 Fiend, but there is Frost Armor, there's level 2 Coil to heal it, and a lot of mana on the DK, so actually Lin really doesn't want to take that fight. In this matchup, Happy for a long time was playing the Pit Lord Destroyer push, like so many games in a row. Against Focus and Jera Cup, we saw it endlessly, it seemed. And for that, you need to have a level 3 SH, very important. So understandable that Lin seems to not be interested in any aggression at all, but just wants to creep up his second hero.
Yeah, I think creeping is very fine. Now he used a lot of time to move his Blade Master onto the opponent's side of the map, got the Murloc spot, got a few Murloc steals there, and so his side of the map totally belongs to him. WFZ kind of has to be aggressive now. It kind of looks misleading on the map because these 2 orange spots in the middle, they're already taken, but that's just the points that are still there. And for Lin, everything is still there. The Merc Camp, the expansion, the Murlocs. So this is going to be very, very good for him later on. Lich, what was that?
Does he have Burrow?
Oh,
yes, he does.
nice dodge.
Nice dodge. And yeah, only one Raider here, only one Ensnare, so has to wait a long time for the next one. But there will be Hex. Coil is cooling down. Where's the Frost Armor? A little late. The DK is gonna sacrifice this one. Okay. I guess he failed with the next Hex and an Ensnare. There was no way of saving that one. So first blood drawn by Lin.
And Destroyer upgrade is coming for WFZ. This is still a good chunk of experience with the level 3 tunnelers. But how much time will he have?
WFZ played this so aggressively. Lich has 0 experience still.
Yeah.
And you don't need level 3 for the big push, but you need level 2. Without Nova, your army is very weak.
That's true. Still only one Raider for Lin. More Raiders are coming. TC is out already. Very fast reinforced defenses upgrade too. Dark Ranger it is for WFZ, so no Pit Lord. And also no Temple of the Damned yet.
Yeah. Destroyer form upgrade first. We have... Do we have a Kodo already? Yeah. Not with the upgraded aura yet, but will be soon be coming in, I imagine.
He has a little lumber issues, I guess. That's a little delayed, but quite a good opportunity, I was just about to say, for WFZ, but he's creeping here. 2 Gloves of Haste on the Lich is of course nice, but he lacks damage as of now. Blade Master is not level 4, not even close, so Critical Strike is not that crazy now. But the problems are second and third here. Shadowhunter will be level 3 after this one. TC is getting good experience for level 2. And Period of Vitality against the TC
only
is
2
never
fiends,
wrong.
2 ghouls to bring as well, but no Nova. That makes a big, big difference. 2 destroyers in the air, though, that is kind of scary, I guess.
But we have a plus 28 Blade Master with an orb. Nice
Good
stomp to
stomp.
start this off, hitting Dark Ranger and Death Knight. So no silence yet. Okay, there it is. No Windwalk for the Blade Master, but Heal Wave is there. Didn't hit it perfectly. One Fiend goes down. Level 3 on the Shadowhunter is finally here. The Blade Master, though, about to die. Needs the potion. Nice micro by Lin to get it out there. And without the damage, what can he do? The Shadowhunter is healing himself up, uses his speed scroll, wants to disengage in this fight. Kodo has eaten, but it's not microing at all. That was a massive mistake.
Good spell, though, to get rid of the Scroll of the Beast, but yeah, still left it there to die. And actually, that was, I guess, better for WFZ than I thought, because, again, you can see he focused the Blade Master, but no Nova. There was no reason for him to be afraid. But there is no invul for the Blade. WFZ stole that earlier, so maybe that was the opening he found for himself, or he saw for himself. Going to keep on creeping here, getting closer to level 2 Lich, finally. But Lin, looking for damage himself. The Blade Master does not have a heal salve on him.
That is weird.
That's a mistake.
There is a heal wave, but only one. And he plays it so aggressively because he knows that there's no Nova. Nice stomp again, hitting the DK, but not enough damage. Oh, he goes for the first hero now, trying to force a Town Portal. Critical Strike cancelled by a Town Portal. That was really close. Gets a Fiend, though, while Scotty beams him up. Level 2 for the TC. 3 and 3 on the first and second hero. And this was way better for Lin.
Yeah, and I think he can just go for a Great Hall now. He knows the TP is gone. He knows the DK isn't level 4 yet, so he needs to rebuy the TP, honestly. Otherwise, it's just going to be too easy of a target. He killed a lot of units, and this should give him the time for the expo. But he doesn't make it.
Nope,
goes for another Kodo instead.
Maybe going for a Tiny. Saving some money and then go for the Tiny, as he is on 50 supply. Upgrades, well, for orcs. We see it kind of trending to have upgrades for orc units, but, you know, kind of unusual still. And enough energy.
And the TC is gonna be level 3 if he takes out the little Murlocs as well. It's looking great for Lin.
Yeah. Very, very solid performance so far. Dark Ranger's level 2 though, so we have Dark Arrow as well. Nice synergy later on once the Lich gets to level 4, but that's a long, long road. Good DPS, thanks to 2 Gloves of Haste and 2 Circlets, but still no Claw. Very unfortunate. Claw plus 9 now would be a crazy DPS boost with all the attack speed that he has. Parry out. And you were right, taking out the Murlocs, level 3 for the TC. That's still no level 4 on the Blade Master. Does he have enough damage in this army for the next fight?
I mean, if you look at WFZ's army, it says 49, but I don't know. It's 2 destroyers who don't really deal damage unless they have mana. 2 fiends. No damage mitigation here. That's the scariest part, I think. No Pit Lord, no Banshees. Can get really dangerous. Especially with 2 Kodo Beasts being on the battlefield with the upgraded aura.
We have one Invo Potion on the Lich, one on the TC, heal scrolls as well, and massive amount of clarities. The tower gets cancelled. He wanted to fortify his expansion there. Is it time for a Great Hall now? No, he doesn't have the resources. But time for the next fight it is! 55 versus 55. It's just a matter of time. If Lin gets the time to get the towers up, this game is almost lost for WFZ.
Only one invul though, only on the TC. Blade Master has none, no heal potion either, only a scroll. In a bad position with the silence on the SH, this Blade Master could fall, and then everything falls apart. So this is what Lin needs to be careful of.
Of course, no Spirit Link for damage mitigation on his units. He has a Berserker as additional anti-air, plus the first Headhunters are coming. Long distance mining as well, more Headhunters are coming in. And what is WFZ waiting for? There's a statue coming, there's ghouls coming. And 4 destroyers. That's a lot.
With mana as well, Lin really should not take this fight. Speed scroll and run. And hopefully he doesn't dispel quickly enough. Oh, there we go. Speed scroll. But he wants to engage. Good dispel. TC running in. Gets the stomp off. Where was the silence? Didn't hit it. That's a big mistake. Hex on the DK. First Fiend's going to be dying quickly here by the looks of it. Destroy find the front line, but the Blade Master now getting focused. I told you he needs to be careful with that one. He's low, perhaps out of the fight for quite a while. And with that, of course, a lot of damage is missing. Next Stomp coming in once again. Pretty good. I think all the Fiends are still alive at 55 supply. Is the 158 Kodo moving forward. Not able to eat though, thanks to good micro from WFZ. Blade Master coming in again. But there is a shade. He's being seen. The silence, the coil Nova. Lin! How can you not know this? Loses the first hero, and with that might be giving this game away. TC moving forward again for the next stomp. He has the pendant. Lots of stomps for him to use. Once again, a great one right there. And now look at this damage. It's just laughable. Does Lin have the resources for the buyback? No. Only 400 gold. That is not enough. He needs to cancel something, sell something. Actually, he's coming back from the altar, but is that good enough?
Gets another Berserker, level 4 on the DK. The Kodo is about to die. He didn't eat here. Shadowhunter finally got his Clarity Potion. I was missing this a little. And is it a surround? Gets a Stomp out. But this damage is not enough. You can't just walk out. Still forces the town portal. Gets the Kodo Beast while TPing back. That was nice. And yeah, we pointed it out. Glass Cannon Blade Master, if you don't have an Invo Potion on him, was it really necessary to give the Invo Potion to the TC and not having it on a Blade Master? I heavily question that decision.
Yeah, and I mean, it's of course very good on the TC. You get silenced, you pop it, you're no longer silenced. But then at least get a heal potion on the blade.
Speaking of the TC, he is trapped. There's no disable, so staff. Nice. Best reaction that Lin could have gone for. Staffing out, get the invul. But that was a like 350 gold potion now.
But I think it's worth it, and the Blade Master really needs it, as we saw before. He was able to retain the one he had in the fight prior. He's giving the pendant over to the SH now. Valuing healing rather than stomp.
2 invul potions now. Still lacking
on his first hero.
No level 3 on the Lich. That is pretty good for Lin. The creep spots are not really available anymore. There's a bit of experience at the marketplace. Would love to see the items from this marketplace if it's worth it to check that store out. Still no Temple of the Damned. He's playing this very conservatively, but going for an Abomination now. Nice counter against Headhunter, good damage against Raiders, and just a big meat shield. Blade Master's back with a potion and an invul now. He learned from this mistake.
It seems like he was just totally unaware of the possibility of a shade. He, of course, realized that he wasn't revealed via dust, but didn't think of the shade. So I guess we can kind of forgive him for that mistake, but oh, really, that's the centerpiece of your army, man. You can't lose that one. But yeah, he has double potion now. He should survive. The last remaining creeps are being taken out. Would have loved to see that solo crept, but for some reason, the pros are oftentimes too lazy for this.
Yeah, he could have gotten a double level up.
By the way. Yeah, if the DK wasn't there, he would be 3 on both heroes now.
Exactly. Blade Master still level 3.6, of course. He was benched for quite a bit. WFZ is pushing again. Is this smart? I mean, of course, He knows that it's easier for the Orc to get an expansion up, as it is for the Undead, but I think he could just easily expand behind this. Okay, now he's breaking upkeep, now it's a little harder, but... He's putting a lot of pressure on Lin, so... In my opinion, he could just try.
I think he was a little low on lumber for quite a while, only had 2 ghouls. Still only on 90 lumber. And here we go again. Destroyers morph in time once more. He wants to lure him into this choke. TC going forward, getting silenced quickly. Invul pop. Dark Ranger in trouble. Can she survive? No, she can't. No invul on her. No healing. And the coil was on cooldown because of it being used offensively. So now, already she's dead. Very good start for Lin into this fight. Level 4 already for the TC. Good storms coming one after the next. Blade Master still has his invul. This looks like a good fight now. For the Korean once again. Epicenter stomp hitting everything. And there just seems to be nothing dying on the Orc side. No important targets anyways. And he is running away with this fight. Absolutely one-sided. How one hero kill can change the tides. And now everything's falling apart. He's going to lose 1 unit after the next. Destroyer falls down to 39 supply. Lin's still sitting above 50. Lich in trouble. Gets Hex. Coil comes in just barely in time. Hex still lasting. Hex still lasting. Invul potion on 7 HP. Blade Master, if he needs to find this kill. Otherwise, this game is certainly lost, but there's still a potion on him. He's going to pop it in a moment. The crit's becoming big as well with 225.
The level 4 level up is so crazy, and it's too hard for WFZ to hold this. GG! And Lin takes map number 1. It was a cool back and forth, though. In the last fight, I really liked the timings of the hexes against the DK. I mean, taking out the Dark Rangers so fast was key, and I think that's more important than anything else. But the hexes on the DK, so there was no coil for any fiends. Everything was plummeting. And the second last fight looked like really shaky and not that great for Lin, but he came back swinging in the final fight and deservedly got Echo Owls here.
But I must say, we saw flaws on both sides.
Yeah.
And not just one. So there is room to improve for both of them. So I think Lin may have the 1-0 lead here, but whoever gets his shit together the fastest, I think still has a good, very good chance of winning this series.
And this is exactly what I mean. It's like the next map is Terrana's Stand, and this is the pick of WFC. Like,
wow.
Usually unheard of. Before we go into the specifics of Terrana's Stand, we have to thank a few people because the sub train is very, very strong again, 2nd day in a row. Thank you, Gosu Gohan, for 21 months of subbing. Shady Fox for 10 months saying, love you guys, Warcraft 3 and back to Warcraft forever. That is correct. Law Shield, Perry Twitch, and Snuzzy have subscribed as well. Snuzzy saying, oh, hey there, less than 3. Gets less than 3 back, of course. And now, second match about to start on Terranas.
So, as you said, super unusual. WFZ, among the really good undeads, certainly the only one who picks this against Orc. Usually not
He's
a map
very
you want to
successful
go for.
with it. He's
There's no
successful with it.
sheep here, no critters, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but especially when you go DK first, quick DK, late fiends, that's annoying for creeping. Also, you need 3 ziggurats to close off the mine, and there's a lot of sapper abuse possibility. I don't know if I've ever seen Lin do that, though. Focus does it all the time.
Yeah.
But Lin, I'm not so sure.
I can't really figure out what WFZ is doing so differently than all the other undeads. Maybe we can take this game as an example to point that out, but he must have a great win rate on TS. Maybe Turbozau, our stats god, can look that up. But he won against Focus on Nostalgia Battlefield, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he won against Lin in GCS qualifiers. But I would have to look that up. It's quite a few months ago.
Yeah, and regardless of the win rate, which I imagine is pretty good, it's also about comfort. You know, if you like a map, you like a map. It doesn't have to be backed up by global statistics. And that seems to be what's the case here for him. Once again, early DK build, despite the fact that there are no critters on this map. It's very easy to take out the little green camp. Probably the most laughably weak creep camp we have in the game with a little 3 shitty wizards. And yeah, Lin gonna be going for one borrow tech as well, I imagine. This, by the way, is a very good map for creeping with grunts solo. There's so many little camps with medium armor where your Blade Master can be harassing with perhaps boots of speed, but no, the pros don't do that anymore. And the grunts can be creeping somewhere else, but that also doesn't seem to be done anymore. WZ had a good start. I felt really good on Echo in the early game, but then he made a few mistakes, of course, in the fights, which Dark Ranger comes to mind. But especially, why did he not creep his Lich for such a long time? He was stuck on level 1 forever. He was stuck on level 2 forever. And usually that's your carry in the late game fights. So I would like to see him change that most importantly.
Okay, we have a late Fiend build order here. And Lin, of course, going for Blade Master. No big surprise. DK on the other side. If Lin wins this, he is the second orc in the playoffs. We do have a chance to get 2 players of each race in the playoffs if Lin and WFZ win here today in Seer Cup, which is always pretty nice, I guess. Variety in a tournament is cool. Playoffs, by the way, starting next Wednesday. Will you be there Wednesday? Because I have to work until 2.
I should be there, yeah. Until 2. Like
PM.
from the morning until 2.
Yeah.
Since when do you work so early?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Very unusual times. I don't know if I can get up that early anymore. But yeah, I will join you for the second game then, most likely.
So Acolyte scouting, seeing where the orc is going, and he's being pretty aggressive here. Does he want to harass the DK like right away?
That would be
Speaking
the
of which,
fly
he is
route.
taking out the shitty wizards. Not investing a coil, interestingly.
Oh, and Turbozau has provided some stats here, by the way. 4-2 against Orc on TS versus Fly, Focus, and Lin. That is super impressive.
And Lin is actually adjusting here. Not going for any creeping, but as I said, going for the harassment immediately. Circlet bot traded for the town portal, of course, as we know it to be the case. Acolyte, not quite denying himself. Grunt gets the last hit. First bit of experience. And this is like Orc versus Undead, I don't know, 4 years ago. Orc being super aggressive. We don't really see that anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Fly approach. He can go to the upper right or bottom left to get the item there. He doesn't have heal self, so has to be a little careful with poison creeps, especially. Which of course,
right, he
are
good
in the
catch. I
upper right.
didn't realize that he skipped the shop, so he has a really fast tech.
Yeah, sometimes I'm very useful, Remo. Even in casts.
Always, Neo. Always.
Aww.
A player's forces are under attack.
So yeah, the difference in tech is quite obvious. Like half a tech it is. The harass didn't do too much, but as you pointed out on Echo Isles, level 3 is so super important for the DK, and if you trade your levels against the DK level, I think it's very, very justified to do that. And it works out pretty well so far.
So we have a second grunt now coming in. Even without heal selves, he may want to think about taking out some little green camps. The Blade Master perhaps being annoying. Damn, this tech is so fast. Almost finished already for Lin. But then he's probably going to have to creep Blade Master and SH together. And it's going to take forever for either of them to hit level 3. But of course, same is the case for the Undead. He has a little more experience, but...
I wonder
super
how
unusual.
aggressive he's gonna be with the Shadow Hunter. There's quite a good chance to pick up a Fiend, but it's only 1. So might not be justified to move out that far.
But when your SH and Blade Master's level 1, the Blade Master is actually a big weakness in the army. And if WZ is really ballsy, he may even go for Nova first. But that's unlikely.
Yeah, that I've not seen that in 6 years or so.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. If like Blade Master plus SH is attacking you and your Lich is coming out and then you see the Blade Master is low, then you may want to go for it. So we have the 3 grunts out. They're still only patrolling around the map, not really taking out any creeps. Blade Master's still stuck on 25 experience. Oh, look at the skeletons, man. They made a long journey to the shitty wizards and they're gonna get 1 kill. Bam, there we go.
Fully denied. Oh no, that's not. Well, at least a little bit, right? Getting closer to level 2. 20
experience.
Experience.
Experience. He got extra experience from that one, by the way, because he was tier 2. Low.
Yes. But, oh yeah, there's no XP mitigation due to levels as well, so this was most likely the most XP apprentice wizard that we've ever seen.
We've ever seen.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, if you are like level 2, you get less experience from a creep than if you are level 1. But of course, this...
I remember that blowing our mind like 2 years ago when we, or 3 years ago when you figured
What?
it out
It's
for the
not a
first time.
fixed amount? Holy shit. Yeah, we're learning quite fast here since like 2 years or 3 years. I think it started when we were invited to WCA 2014 and really prepared for the first time.
Interesting that the Fiends are back at home pretty much. I guess he doesn't want to have them hexed. Blade Master finds them though. And he's going to be able to put on quite a bit of damage with 2 Windwalks. Can he get a kill here? Unlikely. And the DK is creeping up in the north. He got level 2 finally and the first claws of attack.
Nice.
Which the Lich is going to like very much. And the SH is solo creeping. So once again he values a level 2 heal wave. But I worry about this Blade Master, man.
I like what the Shadow Hunter is doing. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's like a Grunt 2.0. Not much more.
Yeah, that's true. I like what he's doing with the Shadow Hunter, though. He's creeping the middle, so he gets experience, but still is able to get called to arms, basically. When he sees an opportunity, he can go to the undead side of the map fairly quickly. And it looks like he's taking out the Merc camp. And a mana potion now would be fantastic.
Are under attack.
By
the way, he delayed his Lich a lot. He went for tier 3 and Slaughterhouse before. Yeah. Now I have the Lich out to grab up the orb. So once again, sacrificing his levels on the Lich. Still not sure that I'm a big fan of this.
Blade Master's trying to get the Tunneler!
Would be so important for him to get these steals, man, because he's still on 25 XP.
Also, it was Slippers, didn't get anything.
Yeah. Not the fast focus fingers.
He values the Shadow Hunter so much more. And it's an Invo Potion, which is really, really nice. Lich is out with the Orb of Corruption. Nice timing for him, so finally good experience for the Undead as well. But the Orc seems to be pushing. There's 2 Raiders.
Really?
Yeah, 1, 2.
No, I mean like, Focus's move here. Really? You're gonna do
Lin,
this?
but yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. Absolutely.
This is
so he's gonna
an awesome
trade
move.
The shop for a Scroll of Speed. Okay.
Yeah. This is an awesome move. I always think that the shop is the Achilles heel of the Undead, especially if you have a low statue count. At the moment it's 2 statues, so it's totally fine. But he can't really go for the 3rd one and didn't start it yet. So he's either lacking health regen or mana regen in that fight. And can't morph to like Mass Destroyers as he did on Echo House. Just for a little bit of time, but he's not rebuilding the shop as of now.
Yeah, why is he not remaking the shop? This is really weird. Easily has the money.
He's not used to it, to do it in the middle of a game.
He did realize though that his shop was good, right? I hope he did.
He will if he wants to build a statue now.
The Blade Master's taking forever to take out this assassin. Finally! Gloves of Haste, the second one for him. TC is creeping up. His natural, that's his level 2 belt. Helpful always against the nuke.
Robo of the Magi on the Lich, by the way, plus 17 and
that's
additional
nice.
attack speed, plus additional mana. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, and it has 3/2 heroes. If he goes for a 3rd hero now, boom, he's in fighting shape.
Yeah.
And the Orc, well, aside from the Blade Master, he is in fighting shape, but that is a big issue to have such a weak blade.
Yeah, Dark Ranger again, once again, no Pit Lord by WFZ, plays it without damage mitigation. This time, absolutely justified, because the 2nd and 3rd hero are way better than the Blade Master. There's no big items on them, he doesn't need Curse on him. Everybody's raving about crit, and that's very, very justified in later games, but in the early, the Blade Master is not that much of a DPS monster.
Greater Inwall as well for the Undead. And still not remaking a shop, lol. 50 out of 50 for the Undead, same is the case for the Orc. Well, 49 if you want to be precise. And he's leveling the TC to level 3 over the Blade, who is still on level 1. His damage is gonna be so low.
Yeah, how does he want to make up for this damage? Like, he doesn't even have headhunters? With good micro, yeah. Okay. Has a potion on the BM. Tower up, so earlier expansion than he wanted to go on Echo Owls. Oh, Mantle of Intelligence for the Lich. 480 mana plus 20 damage. This is absolutely like the MVP of this army by far.
He's pretty good.
Player's forces
Alright, Blade Master finally gets some experience. Yes! I get to kill some neutrals. This should be his level 2 or close to
slippers.
it anyways. And slippers.
Yeah.
Which are actually super good. Considering that they're level 1 item.
Yeah. Handing over the...
And
Oh.
Towers coming up. Banshee House has been cancelled. There was one coming in the main. But he cancelled it. And he has 500 gold, not making another Ziggurat. Which is probably a mistake, because he can't morph destroyers.
Oh yeah. And the tower at the expansion is up. This is funny because he handed over the Gloves of Haste to the TC, not keeping it on the Blade Master, therefore the Gauntlet of Ogre Strength for a little more HP on the Blade Master.
Otherwise, I guess he feels he's...
Oh, well, on level
pushing.
1. Yeah, probably the right call. Ooh, that stomp! That hit like 8 units or so. Sick! Blade Master damage is okay. Here, level 2, finally critical strike and Wand of Lightning Shield being applied on this grunt, and he's not focusing on only the Blade Master. He survives! No! He wanted to hand over a potion, but fails. So Blade Master is out. Next stomp coming in, level 3 on the Lich, level 2, Nova now, of course. Heal wave rattling through, but of course too late. The silences were nice, and I think Lyn has to escape this. Yep.
So many Novas!
It's like, yeah, he's spamming Nova.
He still has 350 mana, 50 supplies still remaining for the Undead, who still can't make more at 800 gold because he forgot about the Ziggurat is coming up now. Then at 52, but is he in fighting shape? There's one more Stomp in the tank. There's 3 more heal waves, so that's good. But the Blade Master, of course, is dead. He hit level 2 before he died, so it takes a little longer now. Good creep jack, though, by Lyn. But he didn't have the best army to pull off that real fight that came after. Invul stolen from the Undead. He has... 3 now.
Tower is gone. Of course, minions will expire soon. There's still no destroy. He finally has the supply. There is no Blade Master. He wants to go into the base. There's reinforced defenses, so he can't do too much against this.
Can he contest his shop being taken out without the Blade Master? He's coming in from the north. TC has 2 stomps. We saw some wonderful ones before. Where's the silence? Coil coming towards the Fiend. Silence coming too late. Way too late. These silences really haven't been too great in this series. But now the backline, the Headhunters getting taken out so quickly with the damage from range. But now Stomp coming in once again. Lich dropping low. Lightning Shield once again on the Blade Master. He's getting focused once again. Coil coming to save the Lich. Fiend dies though. Blade Master dropping low. Healing Potion has to be used. Is going into Windwalk. Getting revealed a little bit late perhaps. But seems to make it a way to safety. And Lyn seems to be holding this fight fairly well. Lich has so many more Novas. What's he waiting for? Perhaps a hero focus opportunity. Oh, the DK, by the way, has no more coils. So that makes fighting this pretty hard. But Lich, use your mana. Going for the Blade Master once again. SH has no more heal wave. He needs to be careful with the Nova coming in, but there is the Invul. Destroyer being morphed. Dark Ranger in trouble. Will she have the time for the Invul? No, she won't. She dies. Well timed. Very well timed. Stomp there to take out the 3rd hero. And I think WFZ will have to evacuate very soon. DK dropping low. Invul not getting popped. And now he's getting Hex. He's getting focused. He might be losing this game right here as the DK falls. Blade Master survives. Nova not enough to threaten his life. And now everything is dying. Lyn is stealing this game away as it is GG. WFZ losing this after it seemed like it was his for certain. In the end, perhaps a few mistakes once again, but very well done by Lyn.
That's true. Coming back from this second last fight where he lost a lot, including the Blade Master. And then, like, for the majority, I think, of the initial fight, he was lacking the Blade Master there, who became quite a big damage dealer when Lightning Shield was applied on him, when he was standing in between like 3 fiends. So, shocking performance by the Blade Master there. He did do his damage after all. And Lyn, therefore, is the 2nd orc in the playoffs, alongside Focus, of course. So, WFZ drops down to the lower bracket and will face Romantic now. So we will get another human versus undead. Hopefully without connection issues this time. But yeah, what do you think? What was the key in this match?
I think WFZ should have won the game when he was getting creepjacked. He was just not paying enough attention. Maybe he was macroing in his base, which is weird because his macro was total shit. He was stuck on 50 supply way too long. He canceled the Temple of the Damned when he didn't need to. He could have gone for early Temple plus Ziggurats, could have gone for maybe 2 Banshees, 60 supply push, and that game is almost unlosable. But he cancels the Banshee house, cancels the Ziggurat for whatever reason, is stuck on 50 supply forever, takes that horrible fight where he gets stomped way too easily because he wasn't looking, I guess. Still wins the fight, but he should have won the game right there. He should have smashed that fight. And then the last defense, though, was really well done by Lin, and maybe WFZ being a little too confident. Because Lich had so much mana for so long, I think he held on to his mana way too much. He could have killed every Headhunter and 1 or 2 Raiders, and then he could TP out, probably save all of his heroes, reset, have a massive experience advantage. I'm a little disappointed with WFZ. There were a lot of mistakes from him.
This is kind of what I meant before the series when I said it was more WFZ like romantic losing the games and not WFZ winning the games. And it was kind of obvious that he's not in tip-top shape, the Undead. But we'll see. He needs to win one more game, and that is against Romantic. Now we go into a small little break, but before we thank Nagimet for a 5-month resub, and who took Date Tripper for another 100 bits. Woohoo! That stomp, he says. Yeah, the one stomp at the Magi spot. That was great. So, last game of the group stage coming up here at Back to Warcraft. It's Seer Cup, Group D, lower bracket final. 7 players in the playoffs already, and 1 more will join them. Either WFC or Romantic. See you in a bit.